Hi, my name's Anthony Hayes. I'm an artist. I'm also an engineer and a designer. I've done a selection of work here which was based on theology. I was looking at the Book of Revelations. It's a step well away from my normal comfort zone of painting engines, but I wanted to do something a little bit different, and it was all started on this piece that I wanted to do, the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Hence this piece. It started it all for these group of objects and two-dimensional pieces of work. Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse, I intended to make death very opaque and very out of sync with everything because it's incorporeal. I've done war at the front, got famine and pestilence here. Famine being a small chubby big fat guy because he's gluttonizing. He isn't being famine in the old sense. I have the indication from number 7 on several sections indicating the 7 seals of the 7 angels, the small book representing the book of names. Over here I've got the red, green, white with a gold crown and black that represents communism, capitalism being the black, communism being red, the white and the crown being Christianity, and green being the rise of Islam. All this was dictated within the Book of Revelations. I have various found objects which I've turned into pieces of artwork just to explore little bits of information about places like the soul and how our journey is. If we will move on to these pieces which are on this, I started to change. I started to look at found objects within certain contexts. I've got the 7 deadly sins hammered into the human body, so we're all responsible for that. It's very looking at money being greed and the piracy that involves in how people think about monetary and material objects. The gold of the horns being the royalist of the royal, the upper echelon. Over in this one I've got a tree of life with a crucifix nailed to the tree, meaning the crucifixion. In that sense I've got crosses with chains attached to that, and they're attached to the death's head hawk moth, which in itself is an expensive item, but it's showing the soul rising but still chained to our beliefs and religion. And I've a fossil in here which shows the fossilised pattern of that chaos order and this theory of the ever continuation of chaos within mathematics and nature into order. Backgrounding, I used an old book of Dante's Inferno's images, which I love them as engraving as they are, and I had this book and it was damaged, so I recycled it. I remade these pieces, and a recyclement element that goes all the way through the 3-dimensional zone. We're going to move on to the next set of images, going from one stage to an end stage, all placed within the Book of Revelation, but still different, still posing different things and making different questions arise. It's not based on making people want to like them, it's based on just having an expression about an idea. A representation of the plagues of old, pestilence of old it's entitled. It started out life as photography. I've done of baby spiders in their nest as they were going out, and I had a macro zoom lens on the camera and I was zooming in, still not catching the detail of these small, tiny, minute spiders wandering around. They were very quick, but out of all the photos I started to develop an image that I was putting on the back of it. I've used different textural responses with different materials to boost it out and develop it further. Then I added this line of gold, this purity of essence there. I've got the river of blood, all the sea in the Book of Revelations it's saying the oceans and the rivers turn to blood. Very similar reference back to the old Egyptian plagues, as in the Book of Moses, with Moses in the Book of the Exodus. Here's my plague of frogs. So I found myself a really good colourful toxic frog, and I thought, yeah, we'll put him on there in a corner. We'll make this slight differentiation between where does your eye go. Does it go into straight into the reds? Is it going and catching it into the green? How is this portraying pestilence and plague and something beyond our control? Moving on, move to the next image. This image was comprised, I was thinking about Midas. There's a mention about the curse of Midas in that, and it is there. I've made him into a petrified tree. I was looking at longevity, the fact that this curse would have enabled him to have immortality, but also enabled him never to enjoy it. So he's become petrified. The seal of the seven angels, researched, found out what those symbols were, fitted those into that image. This is about the seal, the longevity of that side of it, the fact that they will be broken at the end of days to perform the apocalypse, and how that revelation or revealing will occur. Try to get this river of gold in so that you had a rain of it coming down. It's turned into a landscape. It becomes now a different type of image because of that landscape, and you can appreciate it separately from possibly the stricter way that I've put that figure in. Red sky, wanted a really vibrant colour for the sky. I've used a Venetian red and made it more intense. Didn't want to do a blue, didn't want to take this sky as a reality, so a red sky like that could mean anything. It could mean like the burning of the skies, or parts of the book of Revelation, the falling of the heavens. Sword. Title of this piece, double-edged sword. This is all about the sword here, the sword being representational of Jesus, Jesus being the double-edged sword in the book of Revelations. I have a shroud, but the shroud's purple, but it's revealing the seven rods, or the seven candlesticks that bring forth the light of God. I have man yet again subsidised the idolisation of the church about this, and I've done it in gold because it's all that richness involved with that train of thought about greed, and is religion really based upon that? Has that attainment been there? I have an ascendance, the ascendance into heaven. It could be the ascendance away of the soul which is saved in the rapture. Who knows? There's that side of Revelation which is open to interpretation. I have in the background multiple crucifixion forms, but they came about by pure chance. I was trying to build skyscrapers, I was looking at building patterns, but I was trying to take it away from that as well. So we've got crucifixions forms, crucifixes appearing in there, not because they were designed to do so, but by sheer chance, which is a good outcome. The strong use of colours, make it bright, push it that. The ascendancy could be that it's becoming lighter, hence the golds, and you know, the strong look of gold, white, blues, and deep reds, all colours which are mixed in with our religious symbolism. Falsification of ideology, a different image again, taking away from the golds, still the gold in here, forcing that business of richness. But it's it's got more white, it's got more blue, it's more set in this, it's got this lovely sky side. The white here contrasting on all the figures. The meaning behind it, this is the beast. This is the beast in the book of Revelation. Ideology. You will idolise the beast. He will force you into that. He will hold a staff of gold covered in blood of man. Totalitarian, the little totalitarian evil down there, impacting its force and its beliefs on people. Man here being subjugated. You might read this completely different. This is how I was portraying this across in my mind, reading the book of Revelation and looking at different sections of it. Then I wanted to portray the image. I've used burnt frames on purpose because it's that end of the end time, and who would know where it will flow? The handmade items, the made items, all this is part of this show, and this is it. I'm not going to be doing any more extensions about this. I don't want to take this any further, but it's been a journey I've had to do.